time for me to fall out and do a frame mainly for views. I'm sorry, but it's time for an Oberon guide. For those of you who don't know somehow, this man right here, Oberon, just got reworked. And me personally, I never liked our little goat paladin of a warframe. I think he's ugly. So let's see if this rework makes me enjoy him and get into those abilities and passives. Spoiler alert, I don't like him still. He is powerful though. But with that being said, his passive is now something called a righteous negation. Whenever he picks up a health orb, he protects players against the next damage or instance of damage, and it stacks up to 3 times whenever he picks up a health orb. So he essentially has Mesmer Skin as a passive, which if that's not power creeping, I don't know what is, because that's a little busted. For his 1, it is Smite, which is what it used to be, but now it has complete armor stripping and complete overguard stripping. And again, kind of bust. Oh, hey, you can smite, hold to cast, and grant all allies within 15. Oh, interesting. Anyways, yeah. That's also another power creep, and for those of you who don't know, Smite is in fact Oberon's subsume. They just decrease its damage. They don't get rid of the armor stripping or the overguard stripping. So essentially, if you want to have armor stripping on a warframe, you're locked to Smite, because now it's one of the best armor strips in the game, because it doesn't have percentage armor strip. It just armor strips and overguard strips, which is, honestly, overpowered. I hate to say it. It's overpowered. Hallowed Ground sanctifies the ground around Oberon, inflicting radiation damage to all enemies within the radius. Also grants protection against status effects for Oberon and his allies. Honestly, this one's pretty fair. All right, this is pretty on par with what it used to be. Instead of it being a cone, it's now a radius, but it's still pretty par for the course on what Oberon was beforehand. So Hallowed Ground I don't have any qualms with. I get the whole radius thing, and now when a nullifier touches it, it no longer gets rid of it. Which is pretty good. And you know what? I just realized that in my script later, I kind of just, because again, I don't really care for this warframe, I kind of just talk about the passives and whatnot, and the abilities, but I'm also going over what they changed, which means that there's a whole part of the script that no longer matters, because I'm going over how the abilities have changed as well, just because that's how I am. So yeah, looks like we're going to be talking about my opinion on this warframe for a little bit longer than I thought. Renewal generates a protective aura that grants bonus armor to Oberon and his allies and restores health over time. Healing's doubled while in the radius of Hallowed Ground. That's pretty good. The armor bonus is a 77% armor bonus for me right now, and it's normally 50%. What the fuck? DE? Actually, like, that's a little bonkers, and then if you're on Hallowed Ground, that's stupid. What? Why? Now it's to affinity range instead of just range, which honestly, that's a pretty fair one for what it does. I mean, renewal is pretty good, I guess. And then you have Reckoning, lift enemies in the air and hurl them down with conviction, removing their armor. Another armor strip, for some odd reason. I don't know. Enemies hit by this ability will grant Oberon additional armor and have a chance to spawn a health orb when they die. Also, hold on. Why is this one removing all of its defenses, including Overguard? That implies Overguard and armor, because that's a form of defense, is it not? Or is that just referring to, like, shields, Overguard, and all that jazz? What? Hold on. Zooming off to the simulacrum to figure out if it does armor stripping, because that's what it sounds like from the description, but the 4 is completely different. Alright, you know what? Maybe I should have done this earlier. No, it is armor. What? Oh, it only armor strips that one enemy. Gotcha. But if you do that, it'll armor strip more than just that one enemy. Also, yeah, this ability's kind of busted. But it is, in fact, just the enemy that you target with the ability that gets the armor stripped effect. Which makes sense in my eyes. But also still, like, the ability to just look at an enemy and go, bye-bye armor and overguard is a little bit ridiculous, in my opinion. That's stupid, right? This has 92% armor reduction right now. All right, fair enough, and it buffs your armor. Why does that strip armor and overguard? I mean, I get it. It's technically single target, but then the damages spread to nearby enemies, right? So just for example, let's do Corrupted, Heavy Gunner, Eximus. To do one of them, right? And then let's get what's a reasonable fucking Corrupted Lancers, right? 19 of them, right? So we've got our Corrupted Eximus, right? And a portion of all that damage is going to the rest of these guys, which is it's a little busted in my opinion. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy that I decided to look into that. I still think it's absolutely busted. Anyways, we have the build, which is a garbage build, by the way, because I actually didn't have a working reactor on this warframe beforehand. Yeah, I mean, this is a very basic build, but it gets the job done, as you see, because this warframe doesn't take any effort to build. I have Worthy Camaraderie because, frankly, auras are completely up to you. If you want to have a melee build, cool, run Steel Charge. You want to have headshots, boom, Worthy Camaraderie. You want to have pistol damage, cool, run Pistol Amp, or Shotgun Amp, or Rifle Amp, or Sniper Amp, or insert Amp. If you want Dreamer's Bond, go for Dreamer's Bond. I mean, no one's stopping you from doing whatever you want to do. I just don't think formas or auras really matter. Arguably they do, but I don't really care for them. We have Prime Continuity, Augur Reach, Augur Secrets, Archon Flow, Adaptation, Streamline, Augur Message, and Intensify. For those of you who are keen-eyed, I'm sure you've noticed I don't have a single forma on this warframe. That's because this warframe comes with 2 Madurais and 2 Nerimon. Yeah, Nerimon. And then, of course, Dreamer's Bond is also another Madurai polarity. I have this build to essentially work with the strength and duration of Hallowed Ground with Renewal. And the range is also for Reckoning. Realistically, if I wanted to, I could say fuck Augur Message and go throw on Stretch. I still have auras. And go throw on Stretch, which honestly is probably a better idea to expand the range of Smite. So more things get hit because it has a 10-meter radius. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but they did. Now, of course, Intensify Strength. Strength is pretty obvious for the additional damage and Hallowed Grounds damage and Renewal's HP regen and armor. His 4, the GOAT motherfucker's 4, is of course very powerful. It honestly is quite impressive if you ask me. I have Augur mods on because I personally like the Augur Secrets, Message, Reach, all that jazz. I like the Augur mods personally. I have Adaptation just for the extra leeway from what his passive gives us. And I have Arcane Blessing and Molt, augmented for extra strength and HP, because you get a good bit of HP from Arcane Blessing, and with his 4 dropping more health orbs, It's a powerful thing. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, but what about Arcane Universal Fallout? Yeah, you see how many of these I own? Yeah, that's why I'm not running it. Of course, like, yeah, this could be a fantastic ability. Essentially 60% radiation status for a 60% chance to drop a universal orb on enemy death. That's a lot of energy, and that's a lot of HP. But I think that's a little bit overkill, I'm going to be honest, because this already has a 50% chance to drop a goddamn health orb. You do not need more than that. Of course, the universal orbs are pretty nice, but if you play it well, you shouldn't be running out of energy. Hate to say it. He has 755 energy, guys. Shouldn't be running out of energy very quickly here. If you really wanted to, you could probably replace Augur Reach with more, efficiency, or Augur Secret, since it's only 24% strength, with more fucking efficiency. If it's not obvious what my opinion of this warframe is, I do not like him personally, but let's just hop right in and pull him into Mott, I guess. God, I really don't like this warframe. I need to like shove my hatred for this warframe down, man. Jesus. So, of course, we're running Mott because that's the main one that we run. We've already pretty much gone over a bunch of the patch history of Oberon because of the fact of I cannot limit myself, I guess, and I just went on random tangents. I don't know what to tell you here. I just do that sometimes. Oberon used to be one of the worst warframes in the game, especially after they did that change to your companions, where they revive themselves, because Oberon's old passive, if I can find it here, yeah, okay, please. There we go. Allied pets receive health, armor, and shield buffs, in addition to your pet receiving 1 instant revive per mission. That was his passive as of 2017, 04/26. That's how it is. And now his passive's completely different. I still don't like him. I'm going to be completely honest. I believe that he's a little bit overpowered. I don't believe power creeping him the way that he was power crept was a good idea, given the fact that he now has essentially just an instant armor strip. It's a little ridiculous, I'm not going to lie. As you can see by this gameplay, I'm not really putting in any effort to survive. Just like I didn't put all that much effort into the build. I knew exactly what this warframe would need to run Steel Path, and I did that. Don't even need a Forma, don't really need to put much thought into the build. And it's the same thing with Citrine. Citrine was the same way. I don't put much thought into Citrine's build, and it just works. When that's not how I enjoy playing this game. I like when I have to like put my mods in and build characters to where it's like, okay, this works. And sure, I mean, you do Elite Deep Archimedia, Elite Temporal Archimedia, you have to do the same thing. But also, when it comes to that game mode, I can just hop on my Valkyr, get all the rewards that I actually care about, because the Phosphor Cache and the Pix Pack, I don't really care about. And I can just take all the debuffs to the chin with my Valkyr, and then proceed to just wreck house with Valkyr solo. I don't know why they let me do that, but Valkyr's just that busted. Granted, my Valkyr took more time for me to build, and I put in a bunch of effort into my Valkyr, making it enjoyable to use. Same thing with my Frost, same thing with my Komate, the same thing with my Ureli. But I straight up hopped on, I streamed to do the teacher quest, get the weapon from that. I made some jokes about, oh, I'm a new player, oh, I can't build. Did all that jazz. Messed around with the mushrooms, took a nap after that because I was tired as all hell because I didn't sleep well. And then I just hopped on and I'm like, okay, let's make the Oberon build. Oh, my Oberon doesn't have a Orkan reactor. Let's slap one on. let's throw it in. And then my Oberon build was done, and this is where we're at. Is it a little busted? Sure. Do I like it? Not particularly. I believe I've made my thoughts extremely clear on what I think about this warframe, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad warframe. It just means that I don't like him. Everybody's gonna look at that and go, oh, why don't you like him? Why don't you like him? Why don't you like him? Because I don't. I just don't like Oberon. I haven't liked him since he came out. I haven't liked him since they tried reworking him, and I don't like him with his newest rework. I just don't like the warframe. And of course, I'm gonna look at it and be like, I don't like him. But at the same time, this video is not necessarily about, oh, I love this warframe, let's make a guide. This video is more so, oh, this warframe just got reworked, let's go get that money. Granted, I'm not going to be making much money, but you get the point. At the end of the day, I'm still doing YouTube, right? I have to shove my own wants aside every now and again, right? I can't always make a video on, you know, why I absolutely love Railjack and why it's one of my favorite game modes, or why I hate Circuit, or Mirage Guide, where I'm actually excited to do that warframe. I can't always do those videos that I enjoy. Sometimes we have a Citrine guide where I really don't like that warframe, but I just asked one of my buddies, hey, what warframe should I do a guide on? And they gave me Citrine. Oberon's completely different, because I didn't have a buddy tell me to do Oberon. I just knew full well that I need to do an Oberon guide. Granted, the thumbnail's gonna look pretty good. I like how the sun is like within his horns, but again, I just don't like this warframe. Wow, that was a long tangent. I gave up on the script for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I hope you all enjoyed. This warframe's completely busted overpowered, I'm going to be honest. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one where maybe you're Relly. Hopefully you're Relly. Hopefully. If I'm done scripting it.